All right, guys, welcome back to Passive Income Group, where we show you some of the best ways that you can generate passive income right here in the digital space. I don't ever promote or actually stamp my name to something unless I know there's a strong utility and it's solving a problem in the space. And I got two incredible guys that had a chance to get to know. Actually, Albert, I just got to know, and I feel like we're awesome buddies. And I've known Marcus, who I'll introduce you in a second as well. We've known each other. Marcus, how long have you and I known each other?
Mate, I think it was 2017, 2018.
Yep. Yeah. 2000. Dang, it's been six. I'm not good at math. I'm going to use my fingers. So 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21. So 6 years. Dang, man. We've known each other for freaking 6, 7 years, just like that. And we've known each other for a while, but this is the first time we are actually collaborating on working together here. So we're very excited about this. Guys, if you are watching this video, I will tell you this, you definitely buckle up, whatever you're doing. You're going to really enjoy this because this project is actually exploding in the market. And many guys in the comment section and not the first video, but the second video, you keep on saying, when are you going to interview the founders? And so guys, you have it right here. Okay. So guys, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Each and one of you guys, I'd love to hear your guys' background and what you guys done.
I'll go ahead and go first. I started off in products with multi-level marketing. Before that, I'd always done real estate. And so the product company I was with was Melaleuca. And through the course of that, I made a trip to Malaysia when Malaysia actually launched. While I was there, I met a gentleman. He goes, I'd like you to come take a look at my company. A couple years later, I go out there and they had started an off the blockchain. It was called Bookcoins. It was actually a silver token that would be backed by 1 gram of silver. Everything was going good. And I thought, this is an incredible thing. And, always being in products, a product can't make you money while you're holding it. So having that silver and having it appreciate over time, the token appreciate over time, I said, you're doing the same work, but there's 2 different ways to get paid on it. So I just fell in love with it. Got introduced to Bitcoin, helped a couple people from Indonesia. Instead of sending Western Union back to Indonesia, they sent Bitcoin. It cost them 12 cents. Sending their Western Union was costing them almost like 20% of their whole check. They hugged me. I said, wow, this is pretty special. And I just fell in love with crypto from that moment on. Became the CEO of a huge corporation that was based in Hong Kong and China. And at that time, that's when I met Marcus. And I saw Marcus in a company. I'd come over there on the tail end of it. The owner had wanted me to go set up in China some offices and stuff. And everything started to spin out of control right before I started. And I sat there and I watched Marcus from the side. And I said, wow, I've only seen one other person do what he's doing right now. He's staying there and he's trying to help every single person the most that he possibly can. Whether the writing's on the wall or not, he stayed there. And he gained a lot of respect from a lot of leaders all over the world from him, from the things he was doing, which is paying off now. And I sat there and I just admired him. And then we became very good friends over the last 4 years. And we wanted to work on a project together, but there was nothing that we wanted to really put our faces out there with and say, this is the one, this is the one. Because we wanted to design something that nobody could get hurt. And everything that came to us, there would be a way for somebody to get hurt. And with this, there wasn't. So we were all in on day one and away we go. Marcus, go ahead.
Thanks, Albert, for your kind words. And Tuan, thanks so much for taking the time to have us on. I grew up on a farm in country South Australia, and I did a science degree and thought I wanted to be a park ranger, and clearly that didn't work out too well. I got into direct selling in 1995 when I was 22. And I sort of liked the fact that I could be my own boss, and I liked the fact that I could just have freedom, whether it be time freedom, financial freedom, or just having the ability to decide when and where I worked and who I wanted to work with. So I was fortunate to have some great mentors, and I thought that was one of the best benefits of the direct selling industry was the personal development that you could achieve as you were mentored by people who were already more successful, and they could teach you the skills, the business mindset, the way to communicate with people, and different ways of presenting and closing and selling and all these different aspects of business. So like Albert, I was involved with product companies and was fortunate to be a top earner with a number of companies. And then come 2016, I started consulting to different actual direct selling companies. And that took me to Hong Kong. I was consulting to a Chinese billionaire who was setting up a skincare company based out of Hong Kong with a skincare technology out of Japan. And whilst I was there, I bumped into a guy in a lift who was starting his own crypto company. And at that point, I'd heard of Bitcoin, but I didn't know what it was. I didn't want to have anything to do with it because I thought I'm not really a financial guy. If I get involved in something to do with finance, I'll be the guy who loses all his money. So fortunately for me, I saw him again at the hotel where we were staying. And he said, listen, why don't you come and consult for us? You can do presentations up the front. We've got an office in Hong Kong. And it was really lucky, I think, that I was able to sort of put my guard down enough to learn about crypto and to learn about, this project. And so, like Albert said, we had some great success in a short period of time, but that project kind of went sideways, and it wasn't one of those projects where, the owners had bad intentions. It was just the business model that struggled to kind of make it for different reasons. And during that time, I just decided for myself that I didn't want to get involved in something where people could get hurt financially. So I kind of stepped back from the crypto space. And, I love direct selling and I love crypto, but I really didn't know if they could ever really form a happy marriage, without that high percentage chance of divorce where it got messy and people got hurt.
Yep.
So when PunkPanda came along and, I started talking to Albert, we kind of started to realize that we could bring something to the market where people could get involved, they could earn crypto, and they could do it without having to put any finances on the line. There was no risk. They had no chance of getting hurt, but they could also get involved in the space without having to learn how to do anything different, because we realize in leading with the free messenger app, everybody around the world has a mobile phone and they know how to use WhatsApp or Telegram or Facebook Messenger. So it was a way to bring millions of people into the crypto space without them having to learn anything different, do anything different, or really to put their finances at risk. So that's kind of, I guess, brings us to where we are here today.
No, that's huge. I mean, I'm glad that, it's kind of interesting that you guys met in the space of blockchain. And I know, Marcus, we've kept in touch throughout the years. In a way, the story behind the story, before we talk about PunkPanda, is that you've actually stepped away from direct sales. You've been kind of like behind the scenes. You actually started your own traditional business. You've invested in different things, but you really haven't touched it for a while, right? And it's been a few years.
Yeah. So it was April 2018. I kind of stepped back from direct selling and crypto, and I just remembered actually, when New Year came around this year, it was the first year I could remember that I literally didn't set any goals from a business standpoint, because I really didn't have anything that I was excited about and I wanted to throw my energy into. And I thought, I'm just going to wait until something pulls me into it. And that's kind of course, what's happened here with PunkPanda. So, it's one of those things where, yes, you have to believe in something, but you have to be comfortable and the timing has to be right as well.
Absolutely. So, it brings up to the next question that I actually have here is like, so how did PunkPanda came about? I remember when, how I was introduced to it. I actually heard about it. Actually, it's kind of funny. Many months ago, Marcus, you actually asked me if I to take a look at it. And I remember the first thing that caught my attention was, man, I love the brand. Like, this is amazing. That's the number one thing that caught whoever actually designed it. The look, the feel, the slogans. The marketing is spot on. But the moment when it wasn't until like 2 months later, the moment when I saw the vision of where the project was going, it took me 2 months later. That's when I was like, okay, this thing is going to be hot. Right. So my biggest question is, how did PunkPanda came about? Like, what was the birth of it? What was the vision and how did it came about?
Yep. I'll give the start of it and then I'll turn it over to Marcus. What happened was he knew this gentleman that had drawn out the Panda and came up with the security app idea. And he'd been working on it for a couple of years with the security app. Right. And he gave Marcus a call because he knew him really well. I'd only met the gentleman one time. And Marcus really liked the brand. He liked the 5 pandas that were on there. And he said it belongs to a messaging app and it's a security message app. It's got military encryption. And so we did a call with 4 of them. And at this time, when you had PunkPanda Presentation, this had not even come into play yet. And much like you, I was kind of walking away from it. I said, yeah, there's some cool looking pandas here. You've got a messaging app, but who wants to download another military encrypted messaging
Right.
app? Well, a lot of people can't because they don't have military encrypted. They have other types of encryption, but one or two of them do. So, but still, when you think about it, how are you going to market something when you're just comparing an app to an app? So that was the thing that bothered me, and I didn't think there was anything there. They asked to do a second call, and I said, I just don't feel like there's anything really unique here. And I guess nobody picked up on that. And then they asked me to do a third call. I wasn't even going to get on the third call because they were talking about maybe taking it, marketing it to a big company that would want an app and use it through the company and stuff. I said that might be a good idea. And it was the third call that we had. The person that drew the pandas never said one word the whole hour. And I said, guys, I just don't see how we can take this app and go out and compare apples to apples. You're gonna have a huge budget to go out there and really get people to notice it and want to download it.
Right.
And I just don't see anything unique. And at that time, he just said three words. Well, he said three words at the very end. He goes, I beg to differ with you. He goes, we have military encryption. And he goes, it's a big difference. And I don't know what happened. That night I went home and all of a sudden I saw this vision of pandas. I saw this general panda come out and stand in front of all the other pandas and start asking for, what's the report on the chat? Going ahead of WhatsApp this month, sir, and just on and on. And then that led me to, I lost $5,000 in BTCN. It was the Bitcoin network. And they had a model where they were, and I was just mystified by it. I would go on Pancake and I would watch. If somebody took out any of their tokens and sold them, everybody was laughing at them. I said, I've never seen this before. And I just kept watching it. And I liked what mine was doing. And that company was going along really good. And I said, you know what, that business model might work here. So I called Marcus the very next day. We started getting together, started liking it over the next 2 days, 3 days. And we thought we were very close to a business model. And then one day he says, as that business model was getting very close to the finish of the tokenomics and everything, and that we could bring it to the market and we could pay people to use it, share it, and own it. And then that's when he said it. He goes, this would be perfect. Use it, share it, own it. And I mean, that just warmed all the blood in my body. At that moment, I knew that we had it. It was like a eureka that we could go out and do something special that had never been done before. So Marcus, let me turn it over to you from here.
Yeah, it's interesting because we could build a multi-billion-dollar brand with just one of the product verticals that we have. Like WhatsApp has done it, Dropbox has done it, Zoom has done it. And then there's various crypto companies that have done it in these different verticals. And then you've got the online gaming that's, there's many, very successful companies in that space. So part of our challenge was to work out, how do we bring this to the market in a way where we can get mass market adoption without people getting confused and feeling overwhelmed and feeling like this is all too complicated. So like Albert said, when Albert came up with the tokenomics, and we realized we could couple the tokenomics and the crypto reward mechanism with a free, safe, secure app, that's when we realized we had something that was magic. And people would ask us, well, who's your target person? What's the avatar here? Right. Which is generally what, traditional marketing people ask. And we say, well, the person we're targeting is somebody who uses a messaging app. That's our target, right? And the reason people will come to us, and we knew as soon as we started doing some presentations, we were getting some incredible people coming to us, people who are really influential in different industries. And they would kind of rise to the top. People would ask us if we could have a call with those people. And I remember during that time, I would always ask them, one of my first questions is, listen, you're somebody who's busy, you're successful, you probably see many different projects come across your desk. Right. What is it about PunkPanda that's caught your attention and made you decide to put some money into the pre-sale, put your name and your credibility behind it, and put some time into this? And the answers actually were different, but all of the answers that were coming were all of the dynamics that we had thought about that would make this thing actually become, the perfect storm, if you like. Some people would say, well, military encryption, it's really important. People want security. Other people would say, hey, the privacy aspect. We don't want people taking our data and then advertising to us or taking our information and selling it to other companies. And then some people would say, hey, I like the fact that you guys have all of these different services under one roof. Eventually, if I own these tokens, why would I go and spend money on Dropbox and spend money on Zoom when I can actually pay for those services through PunkPanda and it's supporting the company that I actually own shares in? So, other people would say, hey, you're rewarding people for doing something they're already doing. And that's going to be brilliant for people in the developing countries, in the third world. A lot of these people in the third world and developing countries, they have no bank account. They have no way to work their way out of their environment, but they all have a phone, right? And they all have a network of people they can communicate with. And there's no boundaries for them to start communicating outside of their geographic area. And that allows them to get into the global financial community and change their lives. So, we were so lucky. I mean, we launched October 29th with our pre-sale, and it just took off. Now we're at, toward the end of the year, it's at 77 cents now. But we did about 1 week of marketing because we had a critical flaw with our very first product out the door that we didn't know about. We didn't know as soon as we scaled it to many countries around the world, we had all these problems. So we basically said, hey, everybody, there's an issue here. You can keep using it and keep sharing it if you want to, but we're going to go away, fix all these problems, come back with the Bentley, the Rolls Royce app that it needs to be, supposed to be, and you deserve to have. And in the meantime, we've now grown to over 200,000 users of an app.
There you go. Wow.
That we're not happy with, right? And we totally get that. And we're just so fortunate that the community has vision. They've got understanding of where we're going, and they know this is a project that has real products, real services behind it, and it's going to grow over time.
Very beautiful.
Yeah, all the big leaders, that's the number one thing. All the big crypto leaders, they say, look, gentlemen, you guys have a product. You didn't start with a white paper, raise capital, and then go build a product, a year or 2 years down the road. You already had the product or products halfway built. So it just puts us way ahead of the game, something that's kind of unique. And then just those tokens coming every 30 minutes. It's big for everybody all over the world. When he was talking about the tokens coming in, like in Africa and even in India, people so excited to go out there, start with no capital at all, have these problems that we had with the app, but they're still growing by 1,000 to 3,000 people a day by their teams. And they've seen this. Some of them only need $2 worth of tokens to come through in one day. They can feed their whole family. So it has just so many positive things that it can possibly do here. And I've never seen a company, and I could be wrong, but I've never seen one. I've never been involved in one that could have 10 leaders in the first couple months. And 10 leaders start growing by 1,000 people a day. It's 10 separate teams. It's just very rare you ever see anything like that. So we knew the messaging was right. We knew where the messaging was hitting a home run. So all the facilities, we truly believe that this app and this company, PunkPanda, will bring more people that are not crypto into crypto than any other project has. It's going to go viral. And like you said, it's for everybody. Anybody that messages, that's who we're for.
That's amazing. I took some notes when you guys were talking, and, I love the fact that both of you guys have one thing in common. I think it's a great part of your trait is both of you guys are very stubborn, which means, like, for example, one of the things you said was like, when Marcus showed it to you, you were like, I just don't see it. And it took you a while for you to see it. But then Marcus, even though he saw it, both you guys actually still went to the community, because I can tell community is very important for you guys. And you guys still went and said, hey, what do you guys think? And you specifically went to influential people and you actually got everyone's opinion to actually solidify that you guys had something very special. Which one thing I've noticed, for the audience that's taking a look at this, you guys probably have, if you haven't subscribed to the official PunkPanda Telegram group, you want to make sure you go in and just kind of see how much of a community is being built. There's people that aren't part of corporate at all. They're just people they're like me, right? They're going in, they're volunteering, they're supporting, they're making sure that people are helping each other out. It's a very, very supported community, because I think that there's a very special culture in my opinion, I don't want to be biased, but there is a special culture that is actually happening here, which I'm very, very excited about. So for those of you guys that want more specific details on what PunkPanda is in terms of each of the products is in detail, definitely go revisit the channel. You can see all the, I go through a thorough detail on it. But if you don't mind, whether Albert, Marcus, if you guys just in a nutshell, walk us through, the suite of services that PunkPanda has, what's already out already, what is to come, and what are the upgrades that's happening, if you don't mind, just in a nutshell.
Yep.
Actually,
Marcus, you take the products and I'll take Panda 11.
Exactly. I'll take the lead and then I'll hand over to Albert to come in with the knockout punch and a punch at the end. So, our strategy is we're not here to really, come under the radar and to trick anybody. We're up front with our roadmap and we're saying, listen, this is our business model. Our business model is we're going to grow a huge database of users, hundreds of millions of users over the next 2 to 5 years, without question. Again, we did 1 week of marketing and then we stopped because we had to look at the issues with the app. Right. And, we're at 200,000 users already. We're so fortunate. We've got Forbes Entrepreneur Year of the Man of the Year has come to us. We've got top YouTubers like Tuan. We've got influencers coming to us. Right. We've got celebrities coming to us. We've got crypto experts coming to us saying, we've got huge communities. Do you want us to push this out? And we're saying, no, it's not ready to go to the public yet. All right. But from when we get to February and we launch the beta, we go from beta app to Panda app 2.0, where everything's smooth. You don't need to be told how to use it. You just get in there and start using it. We push go. We can go from 200,000 to 2 million users in 30 days. No problem at all. We haven't even started marketing yet. So the bottom line is we've got a free encrypted messaging app that people can use and share. And the more they use it, the more tokens they will earn from the PunkPanda smart contract. Right. Now, the more they share it, we actually have a way of tracking the usage time of the people that you've introduced it to, which is your level 1 people. And then it will track the usage time of your level 2 right down to level 12. So the more people you've shared it with, the more they're using it, the more tokens you will earn from the smart contract every 30 minutes with what we call your Panda Pals, right? Panda Pals is the people you've introduced to the app. So basically you can get paid 48 times a day in a crypto token that's attached to the success of this company. So that's our user acquisition strategy. We are rewarding people for using and sharing a free app that's safe, secure. We're never going to sell your data. We're never going to advertise rubbish to you. But we do need to have a revenue model. Every business needs to have a way to make money. And we're not going to do it by advertising to you, because we looked at WhatsApp that started in 2009, sold to Facebook in 2014 for $19 billion. And I'm sitting there saying, well, how much of that 19 billion did I get? I don't know. Did you guys get a check? I got zip, nothing, nada, right? Yeah. But yet I use it and promote it because I think it's really cool and I like it. So we said, hey, why don't we reward people who help us to grow? Right, that's our user acquisition strategy. Behind that, we have other freemium business models. So a freemium business model is like Dropbox, where you can use a free version, but there's a paid upgrade version as well. So Dropbox has 700 million users, 2.2% actually spend money on the paid version. So they've got over 15 million people a year spending over $120 a year on average on their service. So they're a $10 billion a year company. So we know that a small percentage of our community will want a paid file sharing service that's encrypted. We have the same with video conferencing, like Zoom. We know a small percentage will use a paid video conferencing service from us that's encrypted. We've got a storage vault, all right? The same thing there. Now, we've got other revenue NFTs and different things like that. But I tell you what, one of the most exciting projects we have is really being developed because of the tokenomics and because of Albert's vision and some great connections he was just fortunate to have out of India. So Albert, I'd love you to talk about our project that we just launched, the web version on Christmas Day. Yes. The 2 apps are coming out in the next couple of weeks into January 2022. It's called Panda 11, and it fits into the Panda Play version, which is the online gaming in the NFT space. So Albert, give us a little bit of a bit of magic on the Panda 11.
With excitement, I shall do. Panda 11 is actually a sports fantasy app. And what we've done is we're going over into India and actually launching there and compete with dream11.in, because the same tech team, the same marketing team, the same development team that built that into 80 million subscribers, to where when they do matches, the owner of Dream 11 makes approximately $250,000 to $500,000 per match. They can do 4 or 5 matches a day. So if you understand sports fantasy, around the world is pretty well legal in every country, but those countries will tax you. Some have higher taxes, some have none, because you have to be fiat basically. We're the first crypto sports fantasy.
Wow.
So the same people that did all the development, marketing, everything, number one, they are the ones doing everything for us for over the next 1 year. Okay, so they're doing all of our marketing, everything. This one app is going to end up taking more tokens off the market than all the other products put together. That's my theory, and I think it's going to hold true, because we will have 1 million people onboarded 100 days after the apps are released. It's part of the deal that they made with us, that would absolutely happen. There was going 1 million. We could guarantee 2 million, 3 million if you pay us more, but so 1 million is guaranteed on it. We're very comfortable because everything they've ever done, ever said, it's happened. The app, we didn't even have this as a project 8 weeks ago, and we're already based on web-based right this second. We're probably going to have our first match in a day or two. We launched on Christmas, and actually the Android is either going to be available tonight or tomorrow for the app, and then as Hay said, the Apple. So the reason we're so excited about it, as the pre-sale ends and we open and we list on Pancake, well, anybody that wants to go over to Panda 11 and they want to place a wager, and the team that they built that day for the match, if they want to do $1,000, they're going to have to go to Pancake and get $1,000. They don't care if the token's $5. They don't care if it's $20. They don't care if it's $30, $100. They just need $1,000 worth of value, and they're going to keep coming back, and we're going to have to keep a very large inventory over there to turn over. Very profitable for us just because of the sheer number of people. And also on this, we're going to have what's called like mega stars. So there won't even be a match that day. We're doing soccer, we're doing cricket, and we're doing NBA basketball. Those are the 3 sports we're going to be doing for like the next 6 months. Then we'll add the NFL football, and we'll add Major League Baseball as the years come back into season. And like I said, around the world, all of this being legal, us being crypto, we're able to compete on a level. We probably have 6 months to 1 year before somebody copies us.
Wow.
And what this means is that if I'm with Dream IN and I place I win $1,000, they're going to rake me 20%. And then the government's going to step in and take their tax, which is 33 to 37%. Now that same individual, when they learn about Panda 11, when they come to us, that $1,000 winnings, they'll only rake 150. That's it. There will be no tax. So do you want to go home with $850 in your winnings, or do you want to go home with 430? The word will spread very quickly. And it's this way in some other countries too. And anybody in the world can participate. And even though we've set up in India, but we did it specifically so we wouldn't have to be fiat and we could be crypto based. Then we have 2 real quick NFT games that are coming out. They're both going to be called Pass the Panda. So we have our Panda chat app, and then we have our Panda 11 app, and we can play the game in both of them. And what it is, we create a simple NFT in the beginning. And so this is a long vision down the road to where we can have some beautiful, beautiful 3D NFT games, battle games like Epic Hero or like Axis Infinity. But to start off simple, we're going to create a series of pandas, like pandas at the beach, and then pandas in the snow and things like that. 1, 2, 10. Number 10 will be the least valuable. So we'll put number 10 in the system, and we will tell everybody, we have 10,000 PunkPanda tokens here, and we have this NFT valued at like $30 or whatever it might be. We're going to play Pass the Panda. If you want to play, it's going to cost you 1 token. We need a minimum of 25,000 people out of 300,000 people. Drop a token in. Okay, now you're playing. So we send off the panda. If I send it, it goes randomly to any of those 25,000. It shows up at Twan, and when it shows up on your phone, this is what's going to happen. Pass the panda. You're going to know it got there. Okay, you have it now. If you don't get rid of it in 2 minutes, I win. Okay, so you want to get rid of it, and now if you send it, well, you don't really send it. You just hit send, and then it goes. And
Simple
it keeps
game.
going. So we can do 20, 30, 40, 50 of those games a day. And we could do them in the the Panda 11 app also. So then we're going to get serious. After we do a bunch of these little ones, then we're going to have our 3D, which, take artists, 24 to 36 hours to make. And those will be the cards, the genesis to the game that we'll create in the future. So these will be very rare, very valuable. People are going to want to win them. They're going to want to hold on to them until the game starts. Because these initial ones that we give out, they will always have the most power in the future game stuff. So yeah, we're very happy about the future. And
very cool, man. Very, very cool. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, having utility use, that's the key. We have so many utility uses for the token.
So the second to the last question, by the way, this content has been really good. I know for a fact the audience is going to love this. But the second to the last question is, where are we at with the project right now? I know pre-sale has been going on for a little bit. Some people are sitting on the sidelines. I know what they're thinking because I've been in the space for 6 years or 5 years or whatever the case is. And there's times where I look at it and go, is it too late for me or is it too early or what's going on? So I think as of right now, where are we at right now in terms of the project, pre-sale tokens? When are we closing at? How many sales have we done so far? How many tokens have been sold? That stuff.
Got it. Yeah, I'll do the tokens and I'll let Marcus have the product. Right now, we started October 29th with the pre-sale and we had 10 million tokens that were available. And right now there's about 700,000 that are left. We went from 10 cents to 77 cents. And I've been telling people for the last few days, if you want any opportunity at all, ever, to be able to purchase these tokens for under $1, it's now. That's it. There's probably a 4 or 5 day window, maybe just 3-day window. And that's it. Because as soon as we fire up the first matches with Panda 11, if they need to get tokens, they're going to go to the farm, buy them, and then the pre-sale will be over. Immediately when that pre-sale is over with, we'll be listed on Pancake within about a 3-day period. The liquidity pool will go in, we'll make the announcement, we'll give everybody the smart contract. And what some people were not thinking about during this time period is that 10 cents to $1. So they watch that in all the white papers. They think the end is $1. So if I bought at 10, I'll make 10 times, which is true. But we're here to tell people the $1 is not the end. It's not the finish. The $1 is the start. That's where it starts because now the whole world gets introduced. So far, it's just been our little community in the pre-sale. Now we start advertising to the whole world when this is done. Yep. So the pre-sale will end definitely within the next 2 to 5 days, maybe 6 at the most.
Got it. And that brought up another
still opportunity.
Yeah. So there's a sub question I just thought of that pops up in people's head is there a vesting period in terms of when they purchase the pre-sale tokens? Let's say they bought it at 70 cents, 77 cents. What's the incubation period and does it get staked or how does that work real quick?
Yep. So there is staking because what will happen is that 7 to 8 days after we close the pre-sale, what happens is we don't pay interest anymore. We let the rewards start going into the farm now. And now they get rewarded every 30 minutes, which will probably pay more than the interest because there's very few people on the farm. When you're on the app, there's hundreds of thousands. On the farm, there's just a few thousand. So that's one aspect of it. And what was the other question that you asked? You asked about
the vesting period.
Vesting period.
I always suggest that people, watch the presentation. We've got a full presentation about the pre-sale, and it explains for people who do purchase during the pre-sale that their tokens are going to be locked. They'll get access to them 30 days after the token is listed on Pancake. And then on that second month, they'll get access to 1% of their tokens, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 5. So they can see the actual release schedule if they've purchased during the pre-sale.
And if anyone is actually is watching this recording, just get back with the person who invited you. If this was shared to you, so that way they can send you a link to actually create a free account. And then over there, right when you log into your free account, you can make a purchase with BNB, Smart Chain, Ethereum, or Tron. You have any questions, drop a comment below or visit the official PunkPanda Telegram in terms of they'll support you there. Or if you're part of the passive income group or you're a pig, you're part of the pig community, definitely grab the link below. That's definitely my link. And then, of course, we'd love to support you. Either way, we're a whole entire community here to support each other. My only last comment for you guys is any closing comments?
when the internet came out and there was this dot-com boom happening, and companies were doing IPOs and listing, and people were looking at the increase of the share prices of all these .com companies, people just started plowing money into every new .com company that listed without actually going and saying, well, what is this company's business model? Do they actually have a product or a service that people will actually spend money on? And then people go, oh, crypto is going to crash. It's a bubble, like the .com boom or the .com crash. Well, yeah, right. There was a .com crash, but the internet didn't go away. Right. And companies doing business on the internet like Google and Amazon and YouTube, they didn't go away. So when you look at crypto projects, and particularly PunkPanda, you're saying, well, in the future, let's all try and be visionaries here. In the future, do you think people are going to be messaging people on messaging apps? Do you think they would prefer to have privacy or no privacy? Do you think they'd rather be rewarded or not rewarded for using and sharing a messaging app? Do you think people are going to want to share files online and have them safe and secure and encrypted? Do you think video conferencing like we're doing right now, do you think people are going to continue to do that, or is that just a fad? Do you think online gaming is going to grow? Do you think crypto is here to stay? Is it going to grow? If you answered yes to even one of those questions, we've got a real business model here that can continue to increase the value of the token over time. So that's your decision to make. We're going to be here. We're going to be growing. And honestly, we can see the scaling of this. We've got 200,000 enthusiastic community members already. Once we release Panda App 2.0, we only need those 200,000 to introduce it to 10 of their friends in the next 30 days, and we're at 2 million users. And then the 2 million introduce it to 10 each, we're at 20 million users. Scaling is not our problem, right?
Give a comparison what we would look like if we had 2 million in the first year. Give a comparison to what WhatsApp, Viper, Dropbox, Zoom.
Well, I know this one gets you excited, Albert. So
yes, it does. Okay. At the end of 1 year, what all those companies had in common, they had about just 1 million registrations. 1 million. We are going to way exceed that, and we're going to blow that number away. Now, 1 million was really important because every one of those companies, when they got to that level, 4 to 5 years later, they went into 400 to 600 million. 400 million was about the smallest, up to 600 million. Every one of them was valued at 18 billion or more. Wow. So we can easily do that, plus have the tokenomics behind it.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, guys, I really appreciate this this AMA. I think this was awesome. It was very fruitful. Appreciate you guys tremendously. And again, guys, for those of you guys that are watching this video, definitely if you feel there was a value watching this video, it always appreciate if you like, you subscribe, and you ring that bell so that way you get notified every single time that we share amazing content to you guys. And again, get back with the person who invited you, or if you actually stumble upon this video and you are part of this community, definitely click on the link below. Appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing you guys in the next video or so. Take care, everybody. Thanks, Albert. And thank you, Marcus. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you too, sir. Thank you.